It's been said that we can create greater things together than we ever could alone. So far in this series, we've discussed the core components of fostering this community, strategies for cultivating it, and leading it towards sustainability. Today, we're going to continue a 5-week series on building a creative community by discussing how we can maintain enthusiasm and momentum within this creative community over time. Let's get into it. Y'all, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Dustin Peed, creative coach and consultant. It is episode 67 of the Creativity Made Easy podcast. We are in part 4 of our series, Building a Creative Community. Maintaining momentum is what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into that, I want to remind you that I'm here to help creatives know themselves, their process, and their teams so that they can create greater things together. If you would like help with any of that, I would love to come alongside and work with you as I have with many other creatives so far. You can go to dustinpeed.com, that's P-E-A-D, and click on the Let's Talk button for a free consultation on your creative process and work. If you're listening to this on an audio podcast platform, I'm so thankful that you're listening. I would really love and appreciate a 5-star rating and review. That really helps to get the content out further to those just like you who can benefit from it. We release podcasts every single week on the audio podcast platform and on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us. I'm glad that you're here. Would love for you to hit the thumbs up button to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you're notified every time this content gets dropped each and every week. Lastly, you can find me on social media at Dustin Peed, P-E-A-D, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., all the places. And also, if you're interested in getting my newsletter, which is just a simple top 5 bullet point newsletter that goes out every single Sunday, you can click the newsletter link on my website, dustinpeed.com. Now, on to the show. Everyone loves a new thing, right? It's exciting and it's a little bit mysterious. The possibilities are endless. Anything can happen, right? But what happens after the newness of that thing fades? Will there be a structure in place to ensure its sustainability for the long term? When I was early in my career, I started a lot of things. I loved starting. I was great at starting, and as most young creatives can be, but I failed to plan for sustainability for the long term, right? How is this thing going to go long term? The momentum of every new thing faded, and I was left standing in the dust wondering where everyone went. I wasn't intentional or as intentional about sustained success in the creative community as I should have been, and I burned out a lot of people along the way because I wasn't concerned with that. So today I want to get into a few ways that you can foster a great environment to guide your members towards success and keep that momentum up. But before we even dive into that, it's good to remember why this Building Creative Community series matters so much, and that is this, that we know creativity thrives in community. And what do we get out of that community? We get support and encouragement. We get networking and collaboration. We get inspiration, innovation. We get professional development opportunities. We get overall emotional well-being, and we have opportunities for exposure and recognition in our own creative work. So there are lots of things you can do to foster the momentum of this community and continue pushing the members towards greater success. But I just want to talk about just a few things that you can do today to kind of keep the wheel spinning in motion without burning people out. The first thing is this: continually engage the members. Continually engage the members. If you kind of back off from that early communication kind of fervor that you had in the early days, people will also go, well, I guess this thing isn't a thing anymore, and they'll begin to scatter about. So reach out directly to the group members regularly. You can use technology to your advantage here. I say this all the time. It's not up to you to remember every single thing. But luckily for us, we live in an age of great technology where we can have those things remind us to do the things that we need to do, whether it's asking your phone or your reminder list on your phone to ping you every certain number of days or once a week or every Monday or every Thursday at 4 o'clock to reach out to this community. That's necessary, or you can build it into your project management system and have it recur as a recurring task so that you don't have to remember it. You just know when you show up at work that day, you look at your tasks and you go, oh yeah, I need to reach out to them. It's been a minute since I've reached out to them. Take 5 minutes, reach out to that community and continually to engage the members. That's a way to keep that momentum up. Secondly, openly address any challenges that the community may be facing. Do not ignore challenges or act as if they don't exist, because this makes you appear incompetent and ignorant to the real issues that the community is facing in that moment. So talk openly about the challenges and seek feedback from outside the community on how those things could be resolved. So if there's an issue between two members, or if there's hey, you know what, this monthly meeting isn't really working quite right. I see our attendance dropping. How can we address that? There's opportunities for you to talk about that openly and engage your community, address those challenges head on. It'll show that you're paying attention. It'll show that you care. It'll show empathy, which we talked about last week. And so those are all things that will continue to keep up the momentum, that you're not ignoring your problems, but you're addressing them head on. A third thing you can do to guide this environment towards success is adapt to evolving needs and interests. Listen, every community adapts and evolves, or every community evolves, but the most successful ones will adapt to that evolution. So don't be so stiff-necked that you can't see the trend of the group. If you start to see trends of the group going, hey, you know what? We were more in person, but really digital is working for us better, or we were digital, but we're kind of zoomed out. And so we really want to meet in person, or when we meet at this time of the day, it works better for me. Don't ignore those things. Pay attention to those trends. Paying attention to the trends of the group. What helps bring the group the most encouragement? Lean into those things. What doesn't seem to be working so much? Back off of those things. So adapt to the evolving needs. There are seasons for everything. The needs of the group in the beginning may not be the needs of the group today. So adapt and evolve. You can switch it up maybe 2 to 4 times a year to keep it fresh without spinning people dizzy with too many changes, where you can go, hey, you know what? Every quarter we're going to change up when and where and how we meet. Simple as that, right? 4 times a year, as long as you're communicating that effectively, right, then that's not too much, and you can really kind of keep the freshness going. Creatives love the freshness. They get bored with the same old, same old. So you got to stir it up and keep it fresh as often as possible. So some things to keep the momentum: continually engage your members, set up reminders if you need to, address challenges head on, don't ignore them, and talk about them publicly, and adapt to the evolving needs and interests of the group. Those 3 things. There's many, many more things that you can do to keep up the momentum, but those are 3 things that you can start doing right now to keep up the momentum in your group that you have worked so hard to cultivate. If you would like help with any of this stuff, I would love to help you. You can reach out to me at dustinp.com and we can talk about it. Next week, we are going to wrap up this series, part 5 of Building Creative Community, and we're going to talk about building bridges. We have our little island. Now let's build some bridges and expand this community even further than we ever thought possible. I'll talk to you next time. That'll be episode 68 on Creativity Made Easy.